Start.
Hello everyone. We team forged with our members Deblina Chakravarti, Ranjit Behra, Aditi Ray, Akansha Shahu, Ravikant Kumar and Ashlesha Shukla going to present before you some methods of forging. So there are generally four methods of forging parts: impression die forging, cold forging, open die forging, seamless rolled forging. So the first one is impression die forging. So there are manufacturing processes are incredibly sophisticated, incorporating complex methods to produce the components and finished goods that many of us take for granted. Impression die forging, also known as closed die forging, is one of many forging techniques, but it also offers a wide range of applications and benefits. What is impression dia forging? So, as you may know, forging uses compressive force to shape billet metal into more complex forms. So, in simpler language, it is used to form complex forms. In the case of impression dia forging, two or more dies are used to shape a metal billet that's been heated to the proper temperature. Depending on the component's design, forging may require one set of dies or a multi-stage process with many sets of dies. So how does it works? Here is a small video. Generally, impression die forging, also known as closed die forging, because each of the set behaves like a pair of casting molds. This process uses a hammer along with the manufacturing dies, which are typically connected to the anvil. When the hammer is dropped on the workpiece, the hot metal flows and occupies the die cavities. The hammer may only touch the workpiece for a few milliseconds at a time and may be rapidly dropped several times in a row. So here in the video, it is showing that. Okay, so next to Ashlesha.
Thank you, Devans. Now here are some facts and benefits. This forging method offers any leftover hot metal that's pushed out of the die cavities is called flash. Since it cools down more quickly than the metal inside the die, it blocks more hot metal from escaping and turning into more flash. This also ensures that the remaining hot metal fills up the die. Once the forging process is complete, the flash is taken away and finished product is left behind. Closed die forging is very effective for shaping aluminum, steel, titanium and wide range of metal alloys. By enclosing the hot metal inside sets of dies, many kinds of three-dimensional shapes can be produced. This includes simple forms such as cubes, discs, and spheres, but it can also be applied to multi-section parts that incorporate thin delicate waves and long spindle shapes. Impression die forging is also useful for parts with holes, pockets, and protrusion, and even asymmetrically parts can be produced through this process. This is all about die forging.
Thank you,
Okay, so anyone
Devans
having any
and
questions?
Shukla, Aslesha. So, what do you think the parts are of good quality that are manufactured in this process, and are the extra metal get wasted or not?
Okay, thanks to this forging process, high quality components can be manufactured at a relatively reasonable cost. These resulting parts resist both fatigue and impact, are very durable, have higher strength to weight ratios. Sometimes these parts are up to 20% stronger than those produced by other forging methods. Closed die forging also generates less wasted metal, and this refined method is capable of higher production rates than other techniques. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on to our next process, that is the cold forging. So, cold forging is a metal shaping process in which the stock is inserted into a die and the compressive pressure is applied to deform the stock at the room temperature or below the metal's recrystallization temperature. So it is mostly preferred where the huge volume of parts are to be manufactured at a low cost, and according to the requirement, the stock may pass through multiple dies and a stronger and high quality product is obtained. So now we will show you an animation related to this about how does it work. So first of all, the bar stock is cut and some lubricant is applied onto it. Then this stalk is inserted into the die that has the shape of the final part. Then the stroke is applied onto the stalk. After that, we acquire the desired shape and the final product is obtained. So now over to Ranjit.
Okay, thanks, Biblina. Now coming to application of cold forging, we'll get to know where the cold forged parts are being used. First, in automobiles, the high strength, reliability, quality, and affordable pricing of cold forging has made it very attractive to automobile manufacturing. Cold forged parts are installed at high stress points components such as drive trains, drive shafts, struts, or shocks are cold forged. The diagram shown in the PPT displays that some parts of undercarriage of a car that are produced by cold forging process. Second, military parts, which is the most important thing. Military has very strict stipulations regarding military hardware and choose cold forging for the manufacturing of shell casings, bullets, and other military hardware. Parts have very high reliability and performance during times of crisis. The low tolerance and strength of parts makes them perfect for military weapons. And the last one, hand tools and hardware. Hand tools and hardware are the examples are connectors such as nails, bolts, rivets, and nuts have been produced by cold forging for many of the years. The low tolerance and excellent dimensional accuracy is why producers of hand tools prefer cold forging over their other methods such as machining. Thank you. Anyone having any questions can ask.
I want to ask you one question. As you told that cold forge parts installed at high stress, can you tell the reason behind that?
Okay. The reason behind that is that cold forged parts are can resist high excellent shocks. That's why we use that cold forged parts at a high stress. Thank you.
So now we are going to discuss about open die forging. Open die forging is also known Smith forging. In open die forging, a hammer strikes and deforms the workpiece, which is placed on a stationary anvil. Open die forging gets its name from the fact that the dies do not enclose the workpiece, allowing it to flow except where contacted by the dies. Therefore, the operator needs to orient and position the workpiece to get the desired shape. The dies are usually flat in shape, but some have the special shaped surface for specialization operation. It allows rough and finishing shaping of metal, most commonly steel and steel alloys. It requires a die that is open on the side, allowing the workpiece to move freely in a lateral direction when stuck. This type of design also allows for forging
of very large workpiece. In some cases, weighing many tons of having a great length and width, some open dies forge can accommodate pieces weighing as much as 150 American ton, which is 136 metric ton, and 80 or more feet, which is 24.4 meter in length. Practically all forgeable ferrous and non-ferrous alloys can be open die forged, including some exotic material like age hardening, super alloys, and corrosion resistance refractory alloys. Over to Akanksha.
Thank you, Aditi. Now, open die shape capabilities indeed wide in latitude. In addition to round, square, rectangular, hexagonal bars and other basic shapes, open die process can produce step shaft, solid shaft, whose diameter increases or decreases at multiple locations along with the longitudinal axis. Then hollow cylindrical in shape, usually with the length much greater than the diameter of the part. Length, wall thickness, inner diameter, and outer diameter can be varied as needed. Then ring-like parts can reassemble washers or approach hollow cylinders in shape depending on the height to wall thickness ratio. Not unlike successive forging operations in a sequence of dies, multiple open die forging operations can be combined to produce a required shape. Forging an integral gear blank and hub, for example, may entail multiple drawing or solid forging operations, then upsetting. Similarly, blanks for rings may be prepared by upsetting an ingot, then piercing the center prior to the forging ring. That's the small piece of information about open die forging.
Okay, so can you tell me some more advantages of this open die forging?
Yes, one of the advantage of open die forging is the fact that is produce forging that has unique physical properties because the metal physical properties are enhanced and improved during the forging process. This means that is the density is increased as its in grain structure is being refined, both contribute to the metals and overall strength. Thank you.
So next up is seamless rolled ring forging. So I want to present small video to explain it. So here starting stock is cut to size, then removed on the press. Then the stock is upset on the press. The stock is punched, then pressed. The complete perform is ready for rolling on the ring mill. The axial rolls control the height, while ideal roll applies pressure to the perform. The pressure decreases wall thickness and height also increases the diameter until the right size is achieved. Thank you.
So I would like to ask Ravikant that what is cord force difference?
At Scott Forge, we know the importance of getting your parts on time as expected. However, for customers new to process forging, ordering a forging that will meet all the specifications for end use application may be challenging. So it's our end of the presentation by Team Forging. Thank you. Like, subscribe, and comment.